Hello gamers! Welcome back to another free-to-play Ultimate Iron Man Progress video. Before we get into it, we have some beastly GZs to go over. First of all, GZ to Powzor on matching the level 3 Greyhelm, being the first matched Greyhelm and the second matched Skiller Iron Man. Beast. Next, I want to give a quick GZ to Keybasher on matching his level 3 Reg account. Absolute beast. Congrats. Also, Dulls RS streams on Twitch, so definitely check him out. Beast account. Then I want to give a huge GZ to Liscati on matching his free-to-play Ultimate Iron Man account, being the second match free-to-play UIM to be. GZ, dude. Absolutely huge. And then finally, I want to give an even more massive GZ to Gilded Sphinx on becoming the first matched free-to-play hardcore Iron Man accounts. Absolutely massive, dude. Keep up the gains. So this video is more just going to be a recap of 2023 and sort of gains I made, things I did, and kind of just overall how the account has progressed since the start of last year. So if you'll remember from I think it was Ramble 11, I think is where 2023 starts. So pretty much right around that time, I was just learning how to do Boneyard. Back then, I was just doing the most basic single hopping, collect a full inventory of bones and repeat. And I did that for a while. I think I started off at 70, 71 prey, and I was looking to get base 80s, so I think that was my last skill to do, maybe a little bit of rune crafting. So I sent those, and I got base 80s, I think February maybe, late January, somewhere around then. But the reason I stopped doing that was because at the time, another free-to-play UIM named Zypher, he was rushing 99 crafting, and essentially we had kind of joked that we could do a race to 99 crafting, and so because of that, I didn't have anything in my inventory, so I had to quickly run over the Ogresses, and I think it was 6,000 laws that I needed to get all the law runes for the teleports. So I sent some Ogresses for a bit to do those, got the law runes, and then started going pretty hard on crafting. Unfortunately, though, Zypher ended up burning around this time. Just he needed to focus on some IRL school stuff, and I didn't really want to keep doing crafting. I already done a decent amount, so I figured I just would send the all the law runes I had to Telegrab and Superheat. But during that process, though, I got 99 mining, which is pretty beast. Another 99 on the account. Then, kind of going from there throughout the year, I started to focus a bit more on actually putting together some of my skilling reference videos. The whole ethos around those was pretty much, there weren't a lot of methods that had footage for them, or if they did, it was very short clips, and sort of aged in interfaces and stuff like that. So I just figured it was nice to have kind of a more up-to-date footage of all the methods that I do, just kind of as an easy thing to point to if people ever asked, or to have footage if I ever wanted to put together a bigger maxing guide, which, spoiler, I ended up doing. But yeah, doing that for a bit, sort of getting into the combat smithing overview that I had to do. So essentially the idea with this is that, you want to get all the runes, law runes that you need to telegrab, but you don't want to have too big of a law rune stack that you're stuck up in the wilderness telegraphing for too long. Both for a safety thing, you don't want to lose it all like 20 Problemos did, but you also just don't want to burn because I hate telegraphing. It's one of the worst methods, I think. So sort of, started getting to the idea of doing a loop, with more rapidly, doing some hill giants, getting the law runes, doing Obor real quick for more law runes, sending all those to Telegrab and then Superheat. And so this is kind of what I was doing. This probably started around the summertime-ish of this year, but ended up stopping to do that real quick because Forestry came out, I think around June, July-ish over the summer, And I spent a little bit of time checking that out. I wanted to first test the rates of like what new woodcutting would look like. And this was like first day to come out. I was doing a bit of like the world hop method, where you would just have like a few alts at Draenor Village, hopping through the worlds to find the events, because they were spawning like crazy on the first day, and then just like doing all those. I had like an adamant axe, so I was doing the rune crafting or something beforehand as part of like that loop, and I was still able to get like 170k woodcutting XP that first day, like per hour. I think Pause, who I was also doing it with, he was getting like 180k rates, like just insane. But luckily, kind of as the year went, Forestry just got nerfed and nerfed more and more, and now it's like barely worth it to um like do like anything besides just like camping 301 Draenor, and like if you want to AFK, it's like a good place to AFK now, or 301 Varrock use if you want to be like even more AFK. But honestly, it seems like for fire making, the whole like bonfire thing just was bad, and so it seems like most people are just like doing the normal way of doing like regular snow or double snow or 2.66 tick willows. So that's pretty good. I'm a big fan of not doing forestry, so I'm glad that it didn't end up working out. It was around this time though that I wanted to like give my all on like trying out a 6 hour record. And since I was already kind of doing the woodcutting stuff, I decided to see like how good I could get with doing a 6 hour fire making record. Just doing the double snows at the two willow trees outside the crafting guild. And that was pretty sick. I did end up getting the 6 hour record for that, which felt pretty good. And from there, I kind of liked the idea of doing records, so I figured I would try to just send a bunch of them to see what kind of rates I could get for everything. So like I sent Minotaurs for a bit, got the supplies to do the rune crafting 6 hour. That was like my best 6 hour, I think. I don't know if I'm gonna do a better one than that. But yeah, I did a bunch of other ones. I did some melee ones while I was at Hill Giants. I think that also got me like the prayer record. I did a superheat 6 hour, which honestly is like wide open still because I messed up during that because I wasn't even doing like the best snow method, and I like accidentally chronicle tellied halfway through. So that's a pretty stuffed record. I'll probably try to update that at some point, but we'll see. And then of course that got me like the mining and the magic 6 hour as well. Just it's like a multi-skill kind of thing. So yeah, those records are pretty cool. In the future, I want to look a bit more into doing records, and even like potentially going into more like day records or week records. But we'll see how those go. But yeah, so from there, just doing a bit more combat smithing, more hill giants, and then but towards the end of the year, I wanted to go for base 85s. Just I figured that'd be like a good like quarter of the way in each skill to maxing. And it was right around when I was doing rune crafting that free to play CC decided they're going to do that week long competition. And kind of like what I mentioned in my last video, just sent it. Did like 100 hours of rune crafting. I think I got I think I got like 97. No, I got 95 EHP. So that was a pretty big week. Definitely opened up the idea of doing more competitions though, especially shorter term. The month long competitions that 385 does, they're nice, but I don't know. I can't send it for a full month like I can for just like a week or a weekend. So I'm gonna look more into those, and hopefully we do some more of those soon. I did, as I mentioned last video, got the rank 1 team, rank 2 individual with that, so definitely had the confidence up for that. So then right after my last progress video came out, I had two big things that I focused on before the year ended. First one was the maxing guide. So this is something I've kind of been talking about throughout the whole year that I wanted to do, and it was after that competition that I finally just like sat down, and like while I was like AFK in Earth Runes, I just like put all the footage together, which a lot of it I got from doing the reference videos, so that was a bonus. And then for a couple of the methods I hadn't done, I just took videos from like Automelogy, Tanadino, and say free to play alt, um, with their permission, of course, and then made sure to mark that they were the ones that were doing those beast methods. So yeah, put all that together, did all the voice lines. I actually that's the only video I've ever scripted. Like I actually wrote out what I was gonna say before I said it. Usually with these videos, I just have like a bunch of bullet points. Like right now, I just have like the bullet points on my monitor that like pointers for things to talk about, and then I'll just ramble. But I wanted to, because it was a matching guide and it was something that I wanted like, to be like a publicized thing, like have people look at and all that. I wanted to put some more effort into it, which I'm glad I did. I think the finished product is really good, at least like for my own standards. Um, Talks about like all the methods, all the options for like efficiency, like if you want to just like AFK versus you want to like be tick perfect, whatever. I think I got most of the information that like people really need to match their free to play UIM in that. There's some other things I didn't cover just because I didn't really feel like I needed to. Things uh, like golems, I didn't really talk too much about. I didn't talk too much about like forestry, wood cutting, just because first I'm not a huge fan of forestry, but also because they've like nerfed it so much, I don't even know if it's like worth it. Besides to maybe do some like 301 drainer like snow, like so you can double snow there. You can 2.5 tick with like the Black Knight and snow there, which like that's a whole method that probably needs some more research, but that's a topic for a later day. But yeah, felt pretty good about the guide. I'm hoping that it's gonna be up to date for a while. It seems like kind of in the calendar for like updates that are coming out within the next year. Seems like it's all pay to play focused. So like sailing is confirmed to be pay to play only. That rat boss, which they talked about the rat boss being free to play, but now apparently that's going to be pay to play only. At least according to like the last thing they talked about. And then the big Valimore update that they're working on, that's all going to be pay to play area. So it seems like free to play is going to get off free for at least the next couple months to a year. Which honestly, I'm really hoping it does. I'm a big fan of the current meta, and I'm hoping it doesn't change too much. So yeah, guide should be good until then. If a big free to play update does come out, I'm not sure if I'll make another match guide. At least not like right away. I might just like add a note to like whatever meta got updated. Unless there's like a huge shift in like things like smithing or stuff like that, like melees in general. Then maybe I'd put out another guide, but we'll see. Hopefully that's very far down the line. And then the next thing I worked on coming into the end of the year was the free to play leads account. So as some of you guys probably know, every year or every other year they do the leads game mode. Essentially, like there's some gimmick like the relic system, area restriction, whatever. You get faster XP, and it just goes for like 2 months. So I had never really done the leads in the past. I think leads 3 I did like a day of like just doing like the pay to play stuff, and I got bored of it pretty quickly. But I had the idea for this one because it was Trailblazer, which is the one that people most enjoyed. That I wanted to do like a free to play only leads account, essentially being, and I kind of talked about this in my last video, just like only doing like pay to play free to play tasks, free to play areas, free to play skills, and just see like how far I could get with it, see if I could max it, stuff like that. So it was pretty fun. Started off just like I went through the task list and I just found all the ones that like you could do in free to play. Not just like the things you can do in the free to play areas, but like I didn't want to like kill like a or I didn't want to kill a pay to play NPC. I didn't want to do a pay to play quest. I just wanted to do the free to play stuff, and that got me pretty far. I think that got me to like the tier 5 relics. Speaking of relics, things I ended up choosing were things like the endless harvest one, which is pretty cool. You could like pretty much get double gather resources, and they would go right to your bank, which is pretty beast. Um, did the Globetrotter for like the teleport relic, just because I think Globetrotter had a bit more useful teleports within the free to play area. I know most people did the Fairy Ring one though. Banker's Note because that was like the big OP relic for this year. It's the one that you could like unnote and note items just like wherever you wanted to. You didn't have to go to a bank. That had like applications for everything, so that was like just like the obvious choice to do. I think the other one that people chose for that tier was like the shopscape one, but there weren't that too many like useful free to play shops for stealing, and like GP was like free anyway, so I just didn't really bother. Um, did the brawlers dissolve, which is like all the melee attacks are like the timing's cut in half, and I did the melee one as opposed to the ranged one just because melee is like three whole skills, so I figured it would just be like faster the max if I had that. And then the Infernal Gathering, which is like you get the Infernal tools, which this was like my like rationale for this was that because the it was a League's item, like it wasn't like I was dealing with the Infernal pickaxe, which is like the pay to play item, but it was like getting the actual like trailblazer. Like it was a League's only item, so I figured that was like allowed for the free to play build. And it acts differently from the pay to play version, so I mean, it was pretty cool because it worked super well with the endless harvest relic. So like, if I was mining, like I would power mine iron. That was like the mining method I did, and I would like instantly get two. I would you get the double the items. Plus, it would smelt to whichever like tier of like coal that it would need or whatever, because that was pretty beast. So like kind of the method you're looking at right now, I was getting steel bars every time I would mine iron, not iron bars, and that was pretty sick because that sped up things when I decided to actually um, smith them into plate bodies. But then yeah, all the tasks I did only got me up until that tier, which I think was tier 5. And then I was only able to get tier 6 after I did some of the tasks like get 99s. And then for that, I did the Equilibrium, which was just like the 10% boost in XP. Because the other two were like Slayer, like pay to play only, like bonuses. So yeah, pretty cool. I mean, most skills were pretty similar to the main game. Like just did willow trees with the thing to get like the insta like woodcutting and fire making XP. Did fly fishing for fishing cooking. For pretty much all of my combats, like mage and range included, I could have done faster methods, but I ended up just sitting at flesh crawlers because it was like such easy AFK. And the whole time I was playing the UIM, so I wanted to make sure I had like the ability to keep playing that. Yeah, power mined iron, made the steel plate bodies for smithing. Crafting was sort of a neat skill. I started off by doing like world hop in the crafting guild and just doing silver, and like then later I would just make the tiaras because I would have the silver bars. But I found out that it was actually better to do the Alcrid gemstall, where you could just like spam by the uncut emeralds, and then you could like craft those into just cut the emeralds and then sell them right back. And this worked because Leeds had like the shop thing where it was like always fully stocked. So like you could just buy as many as you wanted. And when you're at that gemstone, you actually profit every time you cut an emerald. So like I just got like a bunch of GP for that, and that's how I afforded like the arrows and the runes for ranged and mage. And then last one was rune crafting, which is super nice because essentially it was like with the endless harvest, it was just like full AFK, sit at the essence rock, and like because it would just go right to your bank. You could just sit there for like 25 full minutes of AFK, doing essentially 2 tick essence with the infernal or the trailblazer pickaxe. And so sent a few of those sessions. I think I needed I think it was like 130k essence I needed, because the plan was to do body runes, and so just like that'd be like the thing I did right before bed. I would just like click the essence rock, walk away. Did that a couple times, and then actually doing the rune crafting method. This is like the most fun method in all these, was to do the 2 tick rune crafting, where essentially you use like the banker's note with like a all your noted essence, and you just like click the banker's note to unnote, and then click the altar. And I was getting like 8 mil an hour rune crafting XP, which is pretty nice. It's like only had to do that for like an hour and a half to get 99. But yeah, ended up matching the account with everything except prayer. And this is where I sort of messed up because the areas I picked were like Asgarnia, which is, like Falador. And then I picked the desert because I figured I would do all of my melees at Hill Giants and then like do the prayer method there. And I figured that would be faster. But it ended up being really annoying because like I'm so used to 4 ticking with the rune scimitar that when I had to do 2 ticking, it was like super annoying to like stay in combat while running around and picking the bones up. And that's why I ended up just sending flesh trawlers. But I couldn't unlock a third area because I didn't have enough points with like the free to play restrictions. Just what I should have done instead of desert was wilderness and then just like sent boneyard. Just that, if I had done that, I probably would have been able to get 99. Because with the current rates I was getting at Hill Giants, it would have taken me like 150 hours to get 99 prayer, and I just didn't want to play leads any more than I had to, so I was sort of done by then. So I got like 66, the meme 99, and just left it at that. Overall, though, I think Leads is pretty fun. I might go back to it at some point in like the future. Maybe do like more of the free to play restrictions, but we'll see. I think it was like a fun like little distraction, and it was rune crafting the whole time in the UIM, just doing AFK Earth runes, so it was pretty easy to just sit back and relax for that. But then yeah, after that, yeah, not too much else happened in the year. I ended up going home for the holidays, so I just played on mobile. And that was pretty much all the gains I made for 2023. So now that we're coming into 2024, it's sort of up in the air with where I'm going to be going from here. So basically, the main idea is that I'm trying to get the telegrab portion of smithing out of the way. So, just thinking in terms of efficiency, I won't be smithing straight to 99 just because 99 crafting will get me a bit of XP as well. I'll only be smithing to like 97, 98 through the telegrab and superheat method. So, in terms of what that's going to look like for a combat spread, I'll be doing 99 strength, 99 attack, and then like 95 and a half defense at Hill Giants. And then from there, I'll switch over to Ogresses to finish out defense and get the last of the law and nature runes that I need. So that's kind of the overarching goal that I'm going for. Something I want as well is to get base 90s, because essentially the only skills that aren't 90 yet are attack and defense, which will be easy, and then just a few more levels of prayer and runecrafting. So I ended up ending off the year at 87 runecraft, 86 prayer, and then combat's going to give me a decent amount of prayer, so it would really just be some runecrafting levels off the grind out. So that's sort of the two things I'm looking to do this year. Otherwise, yeah, it's really just playing it by ear. This is all assuming that the meta stays the same, but you never know if some random update could totally change everything, like seems to happen every couple of years. As I was mentioning earlier, though, it seems like for the next year or so that things are looking pretty wide open in terms of like all the updates just being pay to play focused. Free to play looks like it's gonna get off scot free. So yeah, just gonna keep doing that. In terms of content, definitely want to stream more often. I've sort of become, or at least I've sort of gotten into like the habit of streaming at least twice a week, which is honestly really nice. It's nice to have that motivation and be able to like talk with the homies while gaming. So definitely gonna try to do that more. In terms of progress and skilling reference videos, the progress videos will be the same every 2 to 3 month cadence. But in terms of the skilling reference videos, probably not going to be doing too many more of those. Really just because I've done all the methods, or at least I've done most of the methods that I plan on doing, and I've already made the reference videos for those. The only methods I really haven't done yet are if I like really get into efficient boneyard with efficient manual double hop, then I'll do that. Otherwise, just fishing and cooking, which I'll have to do at some point. I'm still trying to figure out when I'll do that. So that'll probably be later. And for that, I'm gonna be trying to do Erie fish. In terms of higher effort videos like the Matson guide, I do sort of like the idea of putting some more of those kind of videos out. I don't know what topics they'd be on, but I do like the idea of like doing like a proper script and like I don't know things like free to play history or like free to play updates and like how they change the metas. That's sort of a cool topic because obviously something like Forestry comes out, that's a direct stealing change, so that'll change the meta for some stuff. But then there's like other things that change the meta in ways that like you don't really realize how they do that. Like for example, like the Chronicle daily limits being like updated and then eventually removed. Like how Chronicle was a 10 page a day and then a 100 page a day, and how that sort of unlocked more ability to do crafting, and now it's like totally no limit, so it's like perfect to do for like Chronicle rune crafting, just like things like that. So that might come out, we'll see. I have a pretty open schedule for the next couple months, but then again, I'm also lazy. And I said I was going to make the Matson guide like 6 months before it actually ended up coming out, so we'll see. But yeah, otherwise, think I'm gonna end it here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you catch me on Twitch, and otherwise, yeah, see you in the next progress video.